Okay guys, welcome to another uh, fishing planet simulator. Um, More of the same really, but over a longer period of time. We're going to go on we are on a 5-day fishing trip today. Got several days sunny, a couple of days it's going to be a bit cooler, bit of cloud cover. Going to be primarily probably just going for bass again. I did a bit of fishing earlier today, and there are some big bass in the river today. I've had my line snap 3 times with a fish on, where the fish has just hit the lure and taken the line, just snapped it as soon as I try calling it in. So hopefully they're still out there. We're going to start off maybe with the casting spoons. Find some young bass first. Once we've found where the young bass are, maybe move it back up to the full bass jig. Using the spinning rod today. Also found out when you've got the rod in the gear here, if you click this arrow to the top, you get the exact listing of everything you're using instead of the pictures here. You still have the picture of the rod because that's the interactive bit. That's where you can change the lure, change the line, all that kind of stuff. So what we've got on is our Value Spin 8'6" spinning rod. It's the rod we've been using for a while now. Line weight that this rod can take is 3 to 7 pounds of line. Moderately fast action can be on this rod, so it's perfect for fast hitting fish such as catfish, pike, and there's Moose. He's fishing as well. He's just got a trophy pike on his first attempt. So yeah, the moderately fast action, typical of predator fish. They hit fast, they swim fast. 2 pieces to the rods. Guides. I'm assuming the guides means the numbers of hoops guiding the line along the rod, so 8 guides. We've got the Callisto XS 1400 spin reel, spinner reel. Bit of a bigger reel. Got 4.5 pound maximum drag on that. And it's been a fairly good reel so far. Quite pleased with it. I'm not getting the reel break warning very often anymore. It tends to be in the line, but I haven't gone through the proper lines. I've got some mono and I've got some fluoro. The fluoro I was using on my 3rd rod, but I've unequipped that. I've for some reason still got the fluoro line there. This line is actually too strong for this reel, so I've not been equipping it. So we're still using the mono 0.08, and then we've got the casting spoon 1/4 ounce on at the moment. This is the premium one. I do have the gold non-premium 1/6, as well as the jig hooks, these medium spoons. We've also got a spinner here as well, and then we've got our baits for the match rod here. Not been having too much luck with the match rod. I don't know if it's because I'm trying to do telescopic kind of tactics with the match rod, and it's just I've not got used to it yet. You get this rod. It's first rod available at level 9 in the match rods. But as yet I've not caught anything on it. I have been preferring the spin reel fishing, but I might give the match rod a go as well. We'll see what comes to it. We are going to be fishing over quite a while. Variety of hooks here that I can equip to that match rod as well. That will be on the mono line as well. But yeah, we've got the cheese, which seems to be a favourite for the catfish, but we've also got things like the dough balls. We picked up some grasshoppers. pet food, small cut bait, small minnows. Maybe get some bass, some young bass on the bobber with that. Not expecting catfish on that, but everything else should get catfish. But I was talking with Moose earlier, and he basically says, like, real life, if even a non-predatory fish, if it can get a smaller fish in its mouth, it will try and go for it. So there's that to bear in mind as well. These small minnows, any predatory fish might go for it. Catfish do tend to be bottom feeders, but I suppose if you dragged a minnow along the bottom, you may still get a catfish. So without further ado, let's cast out and see. Oh, I want to check the peak times first. I think we're just coming up to the peak. So peak at 7 o'clock this morning, and then 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So we'll probably fish through till about 8, half 8, and then we'll skip forward till about 4 o'clock. The line does automatically empty after each day as well, so I haven't got to keep space on the line over the 5 days. I can pretty much keep what I want, and then if we get full and we've got a decent amount on the line, we'll just go over to the next day, it'll reset, and we'll carry on fishing. Just so you can see, we've not caught anything yet. We can have a maximum fish weight of single fish weight £7 on our fish stringer. Total weight £17.5, or just over. We're also not very far from level 9, hoping to get level 9 on this trip. We're going to mainly be fishing at the Last Songs of Summer spot, the Muddy Banked River. We might go down to Pike Challenge. I've got a little spot down there that we can get some pike as well. So we're about an hour before the peak at the moment, which is a good time to start fishing. We always want to fish into and then past the peak. You don't want to be fishing. You don't want to start your fishing at the peak. Just making sure I've got the right lure on there. You don't want to start fishing at the peak. You want to start fishing before it. Fish into the peak, and then continue fishing until the peak goes. That's not too bad. I'm going to recast that one. Idea of this stream as well is hopefully to not only just show what sort of fish you can catch and how, but also maybe to answer questions in the stream. Chat will come through to the stream. I've also got the chat open in a window. But for now, we're just going to keep the line out there. And we'll just cast out, reel in, cast out, reel in. That's the technique I'm using at the minute. Minimal drag. I tend to either use the stop and go or the straight slow. It's easier to hold a straight slow or just a straight pull than it is the stop and go. I tend to not perfect the stop and go, but you don't have to master these styles. You can get fish when there we are. It says straight slow now. But even when there's no technique showing under there we go, fish on. Even when there's no technique showing under there, that's not to say that you won't catch a fish. So first fish coming in, and it's a £2 bass on the casting spoon. This is the premium casting spoon, but it's fairly cheap. I picked this up with a couple of credits I got for leveling up. As I say, I haven't spent any money on this game. It's completely free to play as far as I'm concerned. The premium, if you buy premium, it does give you 50% extra XP progress, as well as if you buy the premium bundles, they will give you a bump start on your credits, as well as access to all the basic licenses for the areas. But the basic licenses can all be bought with in-game credits. In-game credits can be earned for selling fish such as this bass. We'll go and have a look at how much this bass is worth in a second. So is that, and you do get premium coins, the premium gold coins, for some of the achievements, and for leveling up. Certain levels will give either extra XP on top of the XP you've already got, or in-game credit or in-game gold, and that's how I've got any of my premium equipment. It's just with the gold given to me for leveling up. So we'll go see what that bass is worth, and show you how you make money. So what we want to do as well, we'll just go in the gear. The way you keep fish, you either have to have a keep line like this, or you have to have a fish hut, a fish keep net. This one is level 4. This is just the local store as well. There is a bigger store, as I have said in previous videos. There is another store that you're able to access when you're not on a fishing trip. You have to be back on this globe menu and then go to the store, and it takes you to the superstore. This is just the shop at the moment, and then there's a mega store. So you have to have either the net or the keep line. The only difference between the two is the net you can release fish from afterwards. So you can choose to keep them, and then you can go to your list here, look at all your fish, and decide, actually, I've got some really big ones here, and then the rest are quite small in comparison. You can release the smaller ones and get XP then for releasing those from the net. You can't release, it's grayed out, you can't release from a stringer, from a keep line. They are, as you can see from the picture, they are basically a line of big hooks, and you hook the fish onto it permanently. And the only time it gets taken off of there is when you sell it. If you have the net, you can fill the net, and then, as I say, you can go back, check it, release the smaller fish. You do get extra XP. I've been told it does seem that if you're just catching and releasing, you do level up quicker than if you're catching to keep. Whether that's just because if you're not keeping them, you end up fishing for longer because you haven't got that restriction of the keep line. But I have seen a lot of chat while playing the game about extra XP when you release the fish. How much it is, whether you get like the XP for catching it and then you get the same amount for releasing it, I don't know. There are achievements for releasing the fish as well. I think it's called the Saint achievement. See if we can find that in the achievements list. Any of these achievements that are grayed out are achievements that I don't yet have or I'm working towards. So here we are, Saint. Release a certain number of fish in a row. So if I release 10 fish in a row, then I would get Saint achievement, and the reward for that is 5 XP. So it's an easy achievement to get if you're doing the low level stuff. If you're just starting out on the game, all you're doing is catching bluegill and you're getting really annoyed, just keep releasing them and you'll get achievements. This levels up, so the first time you'll get Saint, and it'll be Saint 1, that's for 10 fish. The next one might be 20, 25 fish, and then maybe 50 fish. or whatever. And then you've got obviously your achievements for specific species as well here. I've completed the Bassmaster, which is catch a certain number of bass. I've done the top achievement for that, so I've done 1, 2 and 3. You just go on here. As you can see here, no premium. I still have the premium buy button. I've only been playing the game for 4 days. It's only been out for about a week. 200 fish caught, 17 of them trophies, 6 achievements earned already. No trophies yet because there aren't any tournaments. That's still to come. And quests and stuff as well, though I assume they're going to be kind of like the missions in the Hunter, where it's catch a certain amount of fish. But yeah, so if you've got the keep line, then you can come to here, and it'll say, and this is your fish that you've caught, so it'll say how much of the total weight on the line is currently on. So there's 2.011 out of 17.637 pounds on the line. You can go over that. The last fish you catch can take you over that maximum line, but after that it will count as full. You can't add any more on top of that. I've had 20 odd pound of fish on the line because the last fish I caught was a 5.5 pound fish. And it'll tell you the reward for them. Now it is also here reward in coins, gold here as well. So I don't know which fish, maybe that's the unique fish or the really big trophy fish. So it does look like you can actually earn premium currency just by selling certain types of fish as well. At the minute we've got that single bass caught early morning with a casting spoon. It's worth $14. This 5-day fishing trip has cost us $40 to come out. So 4 nice bass like that, £2 each, easily going to fit on a keep line. 4 of those, we've already paid for the whole fishing trip. So by the end of the first day, you're already in profit. And then you've just got 4 days of fishing where you're making money. Of which we're now 6 AM, we're getting closer to that peak. And let's see if we can catch another fish. I'm going to cast it all the way out, turn the drag down, and then just slowly reel it in. Reeling in towards these reeds on the left. Predatory fish. The smaller fish will take shelter in the reeds in order to get away from the predators and to give cover from birds above. But this being a river, fish are going to be swimming up and down as well as in the reeds. So I always cast like away from, like towards those reeds at the back, but then draw it in towards these reeds. So it covers the water, it covers the open water, and it covers the water near to the reeds. Sometimes you'll get the predatory fish striking from the reed bed. That's especially how you'll catch pike. Down at the other section of the river, the Pike Challenge, that's what you want to do, is cast into the reeds. Didn't quite get the bait. There we go though, we've got a fish on that. Didn't quite get the bait close enough to the reeds, I was about to say, but we got a fish anyway. It's a young largemouth this time, only 5 XP. We'll keep him and see how much he's worth. So again, you press I to open this inventory menu and this little fish with the list. And so there you go. So you've got the difference there between the largemouth bass and the young largemouth bass. When it says largemouth bass, that means it's a fully grown adult fish. You can see the difference in both XP and money value. Now, if this was in a net, this is another advantage of the net as well, I suppose. It might actually tempt me to equip a big net instead of a big stringer. Is I chose to keep that fish in order to see how much it's worth. Now I know it's only worth 4 credits, which isn't very much, but I can't release it because it's on a stringer. If this was a net, I could come to here I go, oh well, he's not worth very much, and I release him. Keep the one that's worth 14, release the one that's worth 4. That's another way you can use the fishing net. So you can put them in the fishing net, see how much they'd be worth. If they're worth quite a bit, keep them. If they're not, you can throw them back. You can take them out the net and throw them back. On a stringer, I can't do that. But we are going to be fishing over several days. We've already got half the money back that we paid to come to Missouri today. So let's go and catch another. This is one thing with the casting spoons, you'll get a mixture of fish. The bass jig, as you'll see later on, mainly I have caught young bass on it, but most of the time you'll only see the fully grown bass on the bass jig. You've also got the chance of catching catfish on spoons as well as pike, but we're not in the right section of the river for the pike. I don't think there's pike in this bit. I know there's pike in the bottom. I've caught 4 or 5 pike earlier. So we're just going to reel in. As we say again, mix between the stop and go and the straight slow if we can. Although most of the time I either have just straight slow or straight or nothing at all showing, and just the bait, the lure showing as a diagram with no technique underneath. I'm just going to answer this chat. That's a problem I've always had, is unsnagging the line. I have now learnt how to do it. It's just as I said there, you put the drag on the reel as maximum. Don't reel, you stop reeling as soon as it says it's snagged. As soon as it says that it's snagged, you stop reeling, so you don't snag it. So you don't like get it tighter into the snag or snap the line straight away. As soon as it's snagged, stop reeling, and put the drag on max, and then just yank the rod, strike the rod left to right. Just by turning your character to the left and then holding the right mouse button, turning your character right, doing the same. And just keep doing that. Eventually it'll come unsnagged. Your character looks a bit funny when you're doing it, but it's the only way I've found of unsnagging it. It's not 100% guaranteed as a technique to do it, but it does work. We've got the straight slow going at the moment. Getting ever closer to that peak, and there's a catch. There's a fish on the line. Just as it comes into that reed bank. So I don't cast into the reed bank, I drag the lure into the reed bank, as if it's a fish going into the reeds. That's what the bass are going to go for. And that's a bit bigger. That's better. 2.1 pounds. Let's go see how much he's worth. So again, press I, go to that fish list, and we've got him here, 2.1, and again, he's slightly more XP, 12 XP instead of 11, because he is a bigger weight, but he's still The same value there. So those are two very good fish. 32 credits. A couple more young ones, or one good young one. One more largemouth adult, and we'll be breaking even. We're still using the casting spoon, remember? This is not even on a full bass jig. This isn't a full bass fishing setup. I could catch catfish if I was in a different area of the river. I could catch pike on this. Chain pickerel, which are they're a type of pike. There's grass pickerel in here as well. I do have the advanced license. It's 750 credits. I saved them up by just getting loads of bass, really. Saved up the fish and got the credits for them and got that advanced license. Unlimited advanced license means I can fish anything I want here. And that's another one on there. Oh, this one's a bit bigger maybe. I'm not sure. It's coming in pretty easily actually, but there is a lot of tension on the line. Largemouth bass, 1.7. So he's a bit smaller, but he is a largemouth again. He's a full largemouth, not a thing. That's Death 12 there with a 4.6 trophy. Gonna just congratulate him there. Um, 4.6 trophy. It's on the side of the smaller trophies, but it's not bad. It's a trophy largemouth. It's worth more than these £2 that I'm getting. And that's more the kind of fish you can expect if you're doing the full bass jig as well. I've not had a trophy on a spoon. The only times I've caught trophies have been on the full bass jig. And we are using the 1/4 ounce as well, which will give us hopefully the bigger end of the fish scale as well. If I was using a 1/8 lure or 1/6, I'd probably only be getting the smaller, the young largemouth on that. Fish on. Yep. Definitely a fish on. Let's increase the drag. Reel it in. Look at that tension go up. There it is, jumping out the water. Maybe that was a lot of tension for a 0.8. Just going to answer Death as well. I've heard this is true. Catfish better in the afternoon peaks. Or so I've heard. Not really a catfish fisher myself in as far as the game's gone. As soon as I got the spoons here, mainly catching the young largemouth bass, and then got the bass jig and catching the full-grown bass. And fish on. And there it is, reeling in. Come on. There we go, another young one. Bit bigger than the last, but still 5 XP only. Just going to answer death again. Try around 3 to 4 PM, peak at 5 to 6 PM. Just confirm that on here. Yeah, 5 to 6 PM the peak. We'll just wait and see if we'll cast out. We'll wait and see if death has anything in response. We'll cast out though. After this cast, we'll check how much those couple of young ones were worth. And then we'll maybe change up to the full bass jig or use a medium jig. Might even go with the smaller bass jig, the 1/6. A bit of tension on the line there, but no strike. It's just this reel that I've got is much bigger poundage than the other reel that I previously was using. Had a bit of that's it. If you've got high tension, it's not necessarily a fish on. When you get the tension flickering like that, that's when you strike. So up that tension on the line, up the drag, reel him in. It's another young one, I think. Let's just hoik him out the water there. Largemouth bass, 1.665 pounds, 9 XP. It's a bit more like it. Zebra and the Zombies, aka Steph, welcome to the stream. Hope you're enjoying. Just go see how much these fish are worth then. So we just caught a couple more young bass. They're all around the young largemouth, bit of a tongue twister, young largemouth bass, all worth 4 credits, 5 XP. Then you've got the largemouth bass here, ranging from 1.665, that's the one we just caught, so 1.7 all the way up 2.1 pounds exactly, the biggest one so far, worth 14 credits, 12 XP. We've got the most XP for that one as well. And you can see the total weight now nearest dam 10.2 on 17.6. So we're only going to get a few more fish. I'm going to up it now to the bass jig. These are all on the casting spoon. Let's see if these are available in the local store. I can show you which one it is. If you go to Lures, go to Spoons and Spinners, click on Spoons. These are the type of things I'm using, casting spoons. You start getting them level 3, level 4. These are the ones available in the local store. These are the ones available locally. There's a lot more variety as I've got in my gear. There's the level 3 or 4 there. This is the premium one. As I said, I've not paid any money for that. I've earned these premium coins. You got the medium spoon. It's a little higher level. This spinner's also premium. In fact, we're going to try the 1/8 bass jig. So back to the fish there. Let's just take a check on the chat, see what's been going on there. Death says thanks, and says what bait for catfish. And then they said cheese depth max or so towards the green boat, about 15 meters out. Yeah, not where I go for catfish, but could be. Makes sense. Big fish do sort of lurk in the shadow. But each their own. I mean, this is where I fish for bass. Not many other people might not fish like this for bass, so that was quite far out from the side of the river actually. So we drop that drag down again, but up the reel speed to 2, and we just drag it in towards the reeds. Couple of people there getting 1.8, 1.9 largemouth bass. It's not bad. It's not our 2.1 that we had and our 2.115. That was possibly a strike there that we missed. Yep, there we go. Got it this time. Now that's a young largemouth. 5 XP. I'm actually going to release that one. We're already in profit now, so let's just go for the XP. Let's see how much XP we need actually to level up now. We can do this going on this little statistics card. You can see 2200 XP out of 2500, so we need just shy of 300. 298 XP we need. Should be easy enough to get over this 5-day fishing trip. That was a bit of a short cast. I'm just going to reel that back in. It was 100 feet, went further than I thought. But just going to reel it in. Also, the faster you reel, the more likely the lure is to stay at the top there, reeling in full speed. There was no technique shown there, and it just sat on the top of the water as I dragged it back in. So I'm going to actually try a different casting method. You do this by clicking the right mouse button, and you can move the mouse around to aim, and you'll get that grey bar is where you need to match the power to get it in that area. So we're going to cast about there, just beneath a full cast, just by those reeds. It's a good cast, and then all we do is we just poke the rod towards the bank and reel in. What that does is it guides the bait, the lure, towards the I think Death there, getting another 4.7 trophy. It's having a good fishing trip there. So there you go again, straight and slow. Does seem to be the technique that I get most of the time. Certainly with this setup, it was a little harder to keep it on the straight slow with the previous reel, and that's a fish on. Let's up that drag immediately. A bigger fish, you don't always want to up the drag straight away. You want to give them a bit of line maybe. Let them swim about with it, but you don't want to drop the tension too much because they will get off. And there we go, a 2 pound largemouth. Even on this 1/8 ounce jig, if you're in the right spot, they will hit it, they will go for it. Just see there, load of others, 2 pounds. Mine showing as a 2 pound there. Nearly 2.1, another 0.002 pounds, and it would have gone up to the rounded up to 2.1 pound, but several people there. I'm Taste, 2 pound largemouth. Got a large pumpkin seed there, 2 pound largemouth again, large bluegill. So there's a lot of fish around, and bluegill, although they're small fish, they are nice fish to catch. They're panfish, so you get the panfish achievements for them. There are achievements for catching a certain number of panfish, for releasing a certain number of panfish. But you'll also get, they're easy to catch as well. So if you just catch and release them, you can level up really quickly. Once you get, that's all I've done, panfish till about level 3, level 4. Then buy a bass jig and spinning rod, and upgrade your reel to a stronger drag, and then you can start catching young largemouth. Once you've got that going, you soon make the money to upgrade your gear so you can catch the larger mouth. the largemouth bass. So we're definitely going to be keeping that guy. Let's go see how much he's worth. So that was £2.048 on the Bass Jig 1/8. 14 credits again and 11 XP. So it's around the same. So casting spoon or Bass Jig, you're pretty much the same. The difference comes when we switch the lure to this. This is the 1/4 ounce. It's a bigger hook. Hook number 2 on this, whereas the other one is a hook number 1. Let's cast this out. Now you can get a premium version of this for about 4 or 5 credits at level 5. You can get the normal version of this. I think one's a hook 2, one's a hook 1, but it's the same. The lure is the same size. It's a 1/4 ounce lure. They're just different hooks on the end. You can get that one at level 5. So sometimes there's a bit more waiting in getting some equipment. The premium stuff, you can get it at the lower levels. So that would help with the leveling up again, because you're getting better gear at lower levels. But if you're doing achievements, you can soon earn the premium coin. There's really no need to buy premium in this game. Obviously, if you just want to level up quickly, then that's the way to do it. And it's not just premium as well. You do get the membership to the unlimited basic license for all fish in all areas. Fish on, just by the bank there. You do get all the basic licenses. Let's just hoik him out of the water. There's a nice largemouth bass, pardon me. You do get with the premium all of the basic premium license, not basic premium, basic fishing licenses, which allows you to fish in any area, possibly without being the level. I know, like when I've started, I've had to be level 5 until I've unlocked New York. At level 8 I unlocked, I think it was California. Level 11 is my next unlock for fishing area. You still have to pay the travel costs to get there, but it means you don't have to pay for the license. That's why I'm still at Missouri, even at level 8, level 9, is to go to New York. It would cost me $250 to fly there, and then it's going to cost me another $30 per day, and that's without buying the fishing license. The basic fishing license is another 40 credits. So you're looking at 300 credits just to go and fish at the New York lakes for a day. But you can make money. This is why I'm doing this. You can make money really easily, really quickly. Let's see what our total is so far. Total so far 90 credits, and this is on day 1. We've got 5 days doing this, so we can easily get at least another fish on here. Even if it's a small fish, it's going to put us up to 100 credits. Take 30 off for the fishing trip. That's 60 credits. Times that by 5. That's 300 credits. That's a trip to New York done. In a 5-day fishing trip here, 1-day fishing trip paid to New York. I've already got all the gear. It would just be this gear, but in New York. Slightly different fish over there. They have got the pike though. I think it's a different species of pike. They got the northern pike there rather than the chain pickerel. But there's no restriction on what I can catch here. Just get and check. 7 o'clock's the peak. We're still close to that peak. Want to carry on fishing really till about 9 AM. If the line gets full, we'll just skip to the next day maybe. Maybe move to the afternoon peak. We'll see how it goes. If we're getting lots of fish, I might just carry on fishing and release. Do a catch and release. Just to get that XP up. That's what I'm after, is to get in the level 9. Because then I'll be able to get the next rod. The level 9 spinning rod. Yeah, zebra there, whoop, northern pike. Northern pike is a species of pike we have here in the UK. It's a European species. Zebra, of course, being from the northern counties of the UK, would, of course, say that the northern pike is the best type of pike. That's no reflection on the northern accent. I mean, I'm in the I'm in the West Midlands here myself, the Northwest Midlands. So, but I am a South boy. Born and initially raised in Milton Keynes, Buckinghamshire. But yeah, I've grown up in the Midlands most of my life, so I don't know. There was a click on the reel there, that could have been attention maybe. Yep. There's definitely something there. I'm going to slow the bait down, leave it in the water. Definitely something there just by the bank in those reeds. That was definitely a strike. I'm going to recast and bring it into that same spot again. $180 feet. Just going to slowly reel in again. Straight slow, there we go. Straight slow, perfect again, 3 dots. We know there's a fish there. We've just got to find it again. A bit of stop and go as we slow down. So we're getting that short line now. Bring the tip of the rod close to the water, make the most out of that bit of line that we've still got in the water. Oh, we're going to get a bite. No. We just reel those last few feet in. We'll recast again. 7:42. We're getting towards the end of the peak now. The peak was at 7. So we're almost an hour after the peak now. But it's 9 AM that it really drops down. We could try the afternoon, skip forward to the afternoon peak for a little bit. But that would then limit us on the amount of catch release we could do. That's going to help shrimp out there. You can catch pike at level 3 if you have a spoon and know where to go. if you want to level up quick, then catfish and then bass. So dragging in towards these reeds again. This is where I find all the bass. You will get them in the main channel as well. Especially around the peak, they're not just going to be in the reeds. But on hot days, as today is, that tension there just from me yanking the rod. On hot days like today is, they're probably going to stay in the shade, under the branches of trees where they come over the river, in the reed banks, under the boats on the other side, the kayaks over there, rested on the bank. There's another bunch of reeds over the other side there as well. Let's try casting into there. Perfect cast. There we go, 181 feet. This time I'm going to point the rod towards those boats, keep the lure as far to that side of the river as we can. There we go, just trying to help the guys out in chat there a bit. There we go, G088N8. And a 4.7 trophy there. And Shrimp's left there, I'm assuming, to go and get a different rod. He's realised that's the trouble with the local stores. If you want to change up your fishing and it requires a different rod type, not all the local stores have all the different types of rods and all the different sizes, so you do need to sometimes just end your fishing trip and go and get it. Would have been much more worth his while probably just staying fishing what he was catching, especially as he was getting catfish, before going back, because that would be more money and then be more money to get his gear. As it is, he's probably just going to go get the rod. He went off and bought the casting spoon, didn't realise about the rod. He's probably not going to realise he'll need a stronger reel. You don't have to get a stronger line, but stronger line do help with the bigger fish because you're less likely to snap the line. You can strike harder, and you can keep a higher drag on the line as well because it's got that higher tensile quality. There we go. Another bass on the line. Yank him in. 1.8. I'm just going to say I'm using the number 2. And then we're going to go and check the keep line. There we go, we still get another fish on there. 102 credits now. Well into profit. Look at all that bass. How's the XP coming? So we're halfway to our XP goal. As the chain pickerel that I caught earlier as well in the trophies there. So another 270-ish, 266 I think it is, XP, and we'll be level 9. We're just going to cast out. What we might do now is do a bit of catch and release. Especially if the next fish isn't over £2. If it's over £2, we'll keep it. Because it's going to be worth 14, 15 credits. That'll put us on about 120 credits. There's a bit of a click there. Just going to slow the lure down. There's Jack there, starting up his fishing planet. As we get closer to the bank, just slow it down even more. Bring it into these reeds. And there you go. 3 meters out. Whack that drag up. Stun the fish. There you go. £2. It's 11 XP. We'll keep him. I think that's going to put us on a full keep line now. And so yeah, let's find out. Yep, 17.825, 17.637. I'll show you, I'll catch another fish and just show you what happens now that that is full. 11 fish on the line, total reward price of 115 credits. Remember, it's only cost us 30 credits to come on this, 40 credits to come on this 5-day fishing trip, and this is one morning of 1 day, so we've not even done a full day's fishing yet. We've got a full line, mainly because I've just been keeping whatever I've been catching. Should have maybe thrown these young largemouth bass away. But if I had the net equipped, I would now be able to do that. The net would be full. I would come here, go, okay, well, you guys are only worth 4 credits. Off you go. Release those and get XP for releasing them. But 115 credits for whatever time we're on. What are we time? 8 AM now, so that's We started at 6, it's now 8, 2 hours of in-game. Fishing just either side of the peak there. Can't really ask for better fish. No trophies just yet, but they're out there. Here's a sunny day. I tend to get the trophies on the cloudier days. So we're going to carry on fishing, mainly for XP, because our line's now full, but also to show how you can tell your line's full. You don't have to check your line every fish you catch. You can try and keep a mental thing. You say, okay, well, that's a 1.8, that's a £2 fish, and keep adding them up and roughly guess when your line is full. But the game will tell you when the line is full as well. We just need another fish. As we get close to the bank here, within 3-4 meters of the bank, or 3-4 meters of line, just slow it down for a couple of feet. If we're not getting anything, then we just reel it in. And cast back out again. And this is all you do for bass. You just cast out, slowly reel in. Straight slow, as we see again, perfecting the straight slow there. What we do for the straight slow as well, you see I'm not reeling constantly. The reel is stopping every few feet, but it's enough to keep the float moving. You see the line going tight, then going slack, tight, then going slack. That's as I'm kind of pulling it through the water and then letting it drift for a bit, then pulling it through again. Taking up that slack, just keeping it going. Slowing it down now. So we got those last few meters. Nope, nothing. We are getting to our... We're 8:30 now, so let's skip forward. Let's find out when the peak is. Peak's at 5 PM, so we're going to skip forward to 4. We're at 8:30 now. Now if I skip forward an hour, what it'll actually do is it will skip forward to the next hour. So it won't go to 9:30, it will go to 9 o'clock. So we want to bear that in mind. So we've got 1 hour, will take us 9 o'clock. From there, another 3, 12 o'clock, and then we want to be at about 4 PM, so 8 hours, or thereabouts, should put us just before the afternoon peak. So to skip time, you press T and it brings up this fast forward time option, and you just click the arrows for the number of hours you want to go forward and click OK. You get a little loading screen with the clock there, and there we go. It's a bit cooler now, 77 degrees. Maximum temperature today was forecast at 86, so it was that's obviously during the midday, and that's why the fish activity drops off. But we're going to keep... Which jigs have we got? Maybe let's change the jig. Let's go with the casting spoon 1/6. This is normal casting spoon. It's not premium. I'll just go and show you it is possible to catch fish without having premium equipment. Quite a bit of tension already on the line there. Could be we dropped into a reed bed there. Not quite sure. So short, straight, slow again. Now remember, we're on catch and release now. Just give it a little jig. See if we can see what that tension was, but it doesn't seem to be going. That doesn't matter. Bit of tension in the line is fine. It will help us keep that straight slow. And we slow down to the stop and go as we come near the bank, and there we go. There's a fish right there. Let's reel that in. It swam towards us, so that's why the line went slack there. Young largemouth bass, and there you go. It says impossible to place fish on current fish keeper. Not a bad fish there, and you see the keep button is now greyed out, and that's because it's full. This bar here, by the way, is our XP, so that's another. If you don't have to know the exact value of XP, that's a rough gauge there. We know we need now roughly 260 XP still to level up. So we just release that one again. Now what we're actually going to do is we are going to check our value of XP, because I want to confirm that we do get release XP. So if we go to statistics, so if we note down, we are on exactly 250 XP needed. So we'll see how much XP the next fish is worth, check our XP, and once we've released it, so we'll look at how much, it will show us how much XP it's worth, then we'll check how much XP we are on once we've caught and released it. See what we get. I'm going to cast the same spot again, always down this left hand side, or the far bank. If you've got the big enough rod like I have, get to that far bank. I'm just going to give this guy a tip. This is something I find. If the fish are just nibble and nibble and nibble, then it's usually a sign that they are there and they're nibbling at the bait, trying to get the bait off the hook, but they're not catching on the they're not catching on the hook because they can't get the hook in their mouth. Equally, if it's a big fish and it's you've got a small sharp hook, it could strike at the hook and it just tear through the fish's side of its mouth, side of its face. There we go, full cast again. Let's just pull that into the side a bit. 2.2 largemouth bass. Nice. .8 there for 6 hit of 42 as well. I don't know what these guys are using, but they're getting good fish. Okay, so let's change the jig on here. Let's go, I think because it's sunny we need to be using a silver casting spoon, and I haven't brought one with me. So we're going to change to the premium because the premium is coloured, and it tends to have better look. This is the difference of premium, is pretty much you can use it any time of day, whereas the gold and silvers you have to use them in the right weather. And we'll try over the far side though. So there we go, line snagged, so stop reeling. You get a few clicks there, that's letting me know it's snagged. Stop reeling. Even let out a bit of line to get rid of that bend in the rod. Tension on full. There we go. Tackle released after snag. Soon as that message comes up, you stop. Not once you get the click in, soon as the message comes up. You've really got to watch all your screen, not just the bobber, not just the line tension, not just the tip of the rod. And Jack is in the same instance here. Keckington. We've got a fish on though, so we won't say hi to him just yet. And what's this? That is a largemouth bass. So nice and easy as well, 10 XP. So we should be 2,260 XP now. If we release him, if we release that and go and check our XP. Wrong one. 2260. So we didn't actually get any release XP there. People have been saying that you get release XP. Now, whether that is... I don't know. Whether that is because I'm using a string line and the XP is actually if you like keep the fish and then release them from that, whether you get the XP from that, I'm not sure, but didn't get any extra XP there. But 10 XP for a catch and release. Would still have got 10 XP for a normal catch though, and I would have got some credits for that as well. Just going to ask how Jack managed to get in. And fish on. Tension up. Drop it down as it's going red there. This could be a trophy. It's certainly taking a while to come in. Let's up that tension again. Bring it in. Drop the tension. Don't want it on red. Fish escaped low line tension. Now that's when it jumped out the water. It jumped out the water there, and that gave it some slack, and it got off. What we're going to do is cast to those boats and draw across the river, because that's whereabouts it's going to be. And we hit the riverbank there. Oh, that was a pretty piss poor cast. £2.6 unique bluegill. Wow. It's the first time I've seen somebody catch those. The record is £3. There we go. So, slow reel, low tension. Let it drop to the bottom. Fish on. That's about where we lost the fish, actually. This could be the same fish. It's certainly taking enough line. No, maybe. I'm not sure. We've got it anyway. It's a 1.9. There you go. So largemouth bass on a casting spoon, not using the bass jig at all there. So yeah. But we want to get the most XP really, so we're going to do a couple more casts, then we'll skip the day. Just got a bit of stop and go action going here at the minute. Oh, we're actually mastering stop and go for a second there. So there we go. As soon as it's snagged, stop. Let out a bit of line so the rod goes straight. And tension, reel one. Full tension, yank it the other way. Tackle released. That's all you need to do. Oh, and there was actually a fish near that. And you see it just as the hook came out of the water. There was actually a fish there. What we're going to do is just a short cast. See if we can get that fish that's near the bank. We'll just drag in. Do a fairly quick drag to get it close to this bank. We want coming in. Even if it's only a small fish, it's all XP now. There you go, there he is. As soon as it goes red, drop that drag down, but as soon as it's lower, put it back up again. And there we go, 1.8. 1.7, 1.8, 1.8 to the chat. It is rounded up. Another 10 XP. Alright, so that's a good point to move on to the next day. Where are we? 281. Maybe do a couple more. And we'll only need 200 XP. We're going to get 200 XP in the next couple of days, that's fine. So let's skip forward. Maybe go do some pike fishing now. Got plenty of bass. Let's go get some pickerel. So to skip forward to the next day, all you do is, while you're fishing, obviously we're at 5 PM now, check when the peak is for the next day. It's a cloudy day, so there's general high activity, but you get a much smoother chart, starting to pick up from 9 o'clock. So if we go for, the peak is sort of 12 till 3, if we go 11 o'clock, we're on 5 o'clock now, so we've got 7 hours until midnight, and then 11 on top of that. So if we skip forward 18 hours, so we go to the fishing screen, we press T, and we want to go forward 18 hours. And OK, and that will take us on to the next day. Now when you go past midnight, as you'll see in a second, when you go past midnight, when you go onto the extra day, you'll get this screen, and it will show all the fish caught. They're actually in the order that they were caught there, I believe, as well. So we had 16 fish in total, one of which escaped, 0 line breaks. We did have 2 snags, and didn't break the line on either one. No trophies yet, no other breaks for any other reason. Other breaks would be reel and rod. Line breaks is a separate thing. No unique fish, never caught a unique fish yet. We did see that guy catch a unique bluegill, nearly 3 pound in weight, 2.5 pound. But this gives the running total so far. So today's results, it means by, like, today is the pay for yesterday. So we've got 141 XP, 115 credits, and if we go and check our line now, we'll see our line's empty again, and ready for another day of fishing. And that money has already been given to us. So each day we fish, you get the money. And